All right, showtime. You ready?
Born ready.
Great. Did you bring the dongle?
What's a dongle?
Never mind. We'll just show them on your laptop.
I was supposed to bring my laptop?
Don't panic. You shared the presentation with me, right?
I forgot.
Well, if you log in, then we can...
My password. I was about to say I forgot my password.
You ordered the food through EasyCater, right?
Yes?
We'll be fine.
Food can make or break a presentation, so make sure you order at EasyCater.com. Individually packaged food delivered right on time. How? EasyCater.
This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off the Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Ray Sugar Soda standing by. We'll take caller 9 at 844-999 Ola, and you'll play Profile This in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, Scrabble just added 300 new words to its official dictionary.
Oh, good. Are they the same stupid-ass words they put in the dictionary, like, twerking, crap like that?
They did put in I'm and not.
Shut up.
Working,
Shut up.
and on it.
Yes, okay. That's all now one word. I'm not working on it.
That is now a full phrase that you can use in Scrabble.
You don't ever need to put spaces between. It's just one word. I'm not working on it.
That's right.
What's the definition of I'm not working on it?
I would tell you, but I gave up. Damn.
Oh, that's not bad. I'm not working on the definition, Ted. Six Flags.
No one knows. It's just nobody. Everyone started to find out what it meant, but in the end,
Nope, not for you.
That's right. It's just a word. Deal with it.
It's just a word.
Six Flags St. Louis is holding a contest where people will spend 30 hours in a coffin.
I saw this.
All right. I will say, when I first saw the story, it's like that. Like, who is the weirdo?
What do you get?
Well, I forgot that when it gets to a certain time of year, they go from amusement parks to, like, Fright Fest Park.
Right. But what you get for 30 hours in a coffin isn't worth it.
Don't
To
you
me,
get like a season pass or something?
It's a season. The whole thing. I think they said the whole thing's worth like $114. You spend 30 hours in a coffin.
Mike, do they get to eat in there?
All I know is that they get bathroom breaks every hour, and they can keep their phone with them, and whoever makes it wins $300 in 2 season passes.
$300. Okay.
Oh, and season pass.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know if it's just because I'm a parent or I'm weird, but the idea of having 30 hours of silence sounds like, I would crush that.
You wouldn't even know what to do.
I'll stay in for 60 hours to give me 2 more season passes.
30 hours, I think, is manageable.
Sure.
I'd sleep for at least half of it.
No doubt.
I mean, just give me, a comfy
And your phone's in there. You know what I'd be doing.
That's right.
I mean, look, no one can see me. I've got my phone. I am masturbating like a madman in a coffin.
Don't mind that polish there on the door.
Yeah. Imagine the surprise when they lift the lid on that bad boy.
Right.
Mike, I like the idea of just like some hungover guy like showing up and be like, ugh. God, I feel great. Did I win? Like, sir, you couldn't sleep for 2 days. You win.
Right? Can you go on a bender before you get in this
after
thing?
30 hours.
Right. Or some guy that's like off a 3-day festival. Like, 30 hours? Lock me in.
Let's do it. Mm-hmm. A woman in Illinois was busted for shoplifting a Bible from Walmart.
Come on. You can get one from a hotel for free.
That's right.
Right.
She told the police she stole it to, quote, I'm not even kidding, be more Christian.
You know what?
I mean, who was the first person to put a price on the word of the Lord?
That bird's got to be in hell, right?
I'm just saying.
Shouldn't you be able to just...
Somebody needs a Bible. They should have a Bible.
Shouldn't you just be able to walk in and take the Bible if you want to learn about it? I feel like if there's any book that you should be able to walk away with, be able to take, isn't that the one? Like, we want you to take this and read it because we would like you to become a Christian.
I would start at churches there, guys,
like,
and I would ask them.
Give me $9. Right. And then the Lord will speak. You shall not profit off the Lord. Oh, you want that Bible, homie? Hold on there. That's $4.99. This is a good $5.25 after taxes, bruh.
Mike, you bring up a solid point. I'm sure if you asked a priest, they'd give you one.
Right. If you go down
but what if Walmart's
church,
closer than the church?
do it for God.
I think God will go to Walmart.
God will go to Walmart.
He's got churches all over the place, right? It's all the same thing. Walmart, they got new stuff.
How can you ignore those rollback prices?
Exactly. Even God's like, damn.
I'll tell you who wouldn't charge for a Bible.
They really rolled this back.
Okay.
Martin Luther.
Okay, we're moving.
Martin Luther.
He would never charge for a Bible.
Strong point, Ted. There's the guy.
Alrighty. There's a bill in Congress right now that would establish a minimum amount of legroom on airplanes.
Yes.
The average used to be 35 inches. Now it's less than 30 inches on a lot of flights.
Look, it is what it is. I get the airlines want to cram people in. Do a little more investigating about some of the things that Congress is doing with the airline industry. So what I would say, how about this? In return for everything you just did, can we at least get some more legroom? They just effed us on everything.
Well, and
can I at least be able to stretch my goddamn legs?
Here's the thing, is how many rows are there on a plane? What, 30, 40?
Depending on the size of the plane.
Okay,
sure.
If we took 1 inch away, that's going to be 30 to 40 inches. That's just not that much more that you're going to fit on there. You're going to maybe fit another row of seats in there.
Well, the other issue, too, is just like some people that know air and space stuff are just like, man, we're reaching a point where it's getting kind of dangerous to stuff this much people into a plane.
Well, because it's not just the people, but you also bring in their baggage.
Yeah.
And talking about all the fuel.
And their luggage.
Stuff. And their luggage, right. Not just the crap they're crying about when they're drinking, but their luggage, too. Baggage claim.
To save on weight, we'll just take care of we'll just take away the drink cart.
Only if Miles is there and it's almost reaching him.
Due to weight limits, there will be no drinks afforded on this flight.
God, I was on a flight years ago, all right, and the flight was fully booked, and it was a very large plane. They come on and they said, look, if we can get just two volunteers to get off the plane for weight purposes, we'll be good to go. And they offered them voucher, and it was a pretty solid deal from what I remember. But anyway, they finally get these two guys off the plane. It's these two Asian guys that between them, if both of their weights combined, was maybe 320 pounds.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm looking, because in my mind, I'm like, how about that guy in row 4F? Right. Get his ass off the plane.
Everybody gets the same.
I mean, they said it's weight, and I'm like, that was the difference on the plane. Come on.
Oh, yeah. The newest Instagram trend is to put your hair up in a bun and use it as a flower vase. Because we like leaves in our hair.
Oh. I never wanted to hurt anyone on Instagram until I just heard that.
Wait a minute, put your hair up in a bun.
And then you take a picture so that behind it, you know like how you hold the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
That super original picture. So now the bun, I'm assuming, on your head
is a vase.
Right, that's the vase for the flowers.
Mm-hmm. Researchers in the UK are working on a new blood test that could detect when someone's too drowsy to drive.
We call it yawning a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, you know when you have that first nod, you're like, oh.
How far am I? The master of... It actually does say it. The master of puppets for The Lion King on Broadway is facing charges after he was caught making a 3D printed gun at work.
It's just not who you'd think.
Wow.
Right, the guy,
Broadway,
the master
Disney.
of puppets for The Lion King.
We found it.
He's the guy who has a 3D gun. Like,
where do you work where one has a 3D printer?
Right. Set of The Lion King.
Apparently the theater.
I mean, can't you basically just make about anything with those?
Pretty much.
Yeah, but you would.
What would you make?
Not.
You know what I would make, man? I would make a really heavy duty bong.
I don't know what I'd make. I'd make a house, man.
Make a cool ass bong. Maybe like a skull bong, you know?
Emergency rooms have been seeing a lot more scooter-related injuries.
Oh, do tell.
It's because of those rentable electric scooters that are popping up in cities across the country.
Oh, yeah. Not like scooters you drive.
Not like the scooter lifestyle.
These things are, you don't even sit down on them. They're like your old Razor scooter, and they got motors on them so they can get up to like 40 miles an hour.
I do like that, like, I know people that live in cities where they have them and they love them, but then it's always like, you're not supposed to drink while you're on them, but it's like, it's a mobilized scooter downtown, like...
At high speeds.
Yeah, like, people are gonna hop on those things.
A man in England was getting a tattoo of his ex-wife's initials removed from his finger the other day, but he had a bad reaction and ended up with a huge, disgusting brown blister on his hand. At the end of the day...
I mean, that's probably better than the initials.
Yeah, but...
I think it represents the same thing to him.
If you get it removed, if you get it covered, if you get that blister, doesn't it still always remind you of that person?
It does, but you do feel a little better, I gotta think, just having the ink off of you, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
But again, do not get a tattoo of anyone who is not your own child or dead. This is my firm belief of all things. If you're gonna put a name, like, man, if it's your kid or someone who's passed, like Mima, I think knock yourself out. Otherwise, I think you're an idiot.
I still think maybe they should do that for actual marriages.
What's that?
You got to get the tattoo.
Oh, dude, that'd be reduced by 75%, right?
Right?
I mean, easily.
Thieves in Vermont have routinely broken into a local farm and stolen the hemp they're growing, but there's just one problem.
It's hemp.
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are coming up 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Jeff, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Try not to be too emotional. It's overwhelming. Here is your story. We go to Memphis, Tennessee, where a man was arrested for breaking into a home moments before he was about to take a bath. This rather clean thief, he was caught in the home after police responded to the scene, and upon their arrival, they were told that the suspect was still on the scene and that a representative from the property management company was on the way with the key enter the home. That way you don't have to kick down the door and all that. So when they finally got into the house, they did find that the suspect was still inside the home with multiple lights on, bathtub filled with water. Police say he told them he was just about to hop in the bath. And then he was immediately taken into custody. He doesn't live on the property, nor is he a leaseholder or owner of the property. Anyway, the question is, do you believe that this man who might be crazy, might be a thief, but wants to be clean, is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
Oh, well, Mississippi. I would,
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee.
That is correct.
So, my guess would probably be black.
What was
due to the area?
Just based on the sheer numbers?
He drew the bath?
Yeah, I don't know if this place, if somebody lived there or not, because they say it's a property owner or a leaseholder, etc. Anyway, he broke into what I guess is an apartment, had all the lights on, he was running a bath. He hadn't stolen anything to the best, for as far as the information goes that I have. But when I got there, he was very calm. Just said, I'm here, I'm about to take a bath. Then they arrested him.
Mm-hmm. For breaking and entering?
Yeah, breaking and entering.
I mean, based on that, I'm just going to go white.
All right, Jeff, what do you think in final answer? You going to stick with black?
No, I'm going to go with white.
All right, white final answer.
The homeless.
Okay, we're going to find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Go to Memphis, Tennessee. On Profile This. Guy breaks into his house for one reason and one reason only. As far as we know, anyway. He wants to take a bath.
Yeah.
So he draws the bath and he gets it ready. And right when he's about ready to get into the bathtub, the police show up and arrest him for breaking and entering.
Isn't that just how it goes?
Right there. So close to the bath.
Jeff, we asked you, do you believe this guy was black, white, Mexican, or Asian? Now, initially, you went with the population and said it's Memphis, probably black. But then you listen to Ted. He said, man, I just think it's white. And you went white in the end. Oh, sorry. Black, Ted. Black, like the man said.
Yeah. I just thought because he was just like, yeah, all right. Like,
you're either like a bath or you don't.
Everything about it sounds like something a white dude would do. The way the cops responded sounded like the way cops respond. And it's like, no.
Mm-hmm. Memphis, Tennessee. Now for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Sometimes you get blown away when you see people do things that their body shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Good or bad.
Right, good or bad, right? Like
Joe Theismann's leg, you're like, oh my God, that's disturbing.
Yeah, or like sometimes you'll see somebody that maybe doesn't look like in the best shape doing something crazy athletic. You're like, wow.
400-pound guy like slam dunking the ball.
There's like a famous one of these dudes like shooting a video. It's got to be like in England or somewhere. And just kind of we'll just say a heavy set guy, but he's got a soccer ball and he just starts dribbling it and it's insane. So this is the kind of the same thing, right? Now we were talking about it. You guys mentioned earlier. This little girl's only 7 years old. What's her name? Malia Emma. But when she sings the national anthem, and at the end here, you'll hear her, like she throws in a little growl and everything else, and she's got the arm raised. I mean, it's pretty impressive. On her
cool.
own. Like if you just heard the audio and didn't know she was 7, I don't know if it'd be as impressive. But go to the Men's Room Facebook page. Why? I mean, I just can't get over. That was the first thing I said to Mouse. Like, have you seen this child doing this?
Not bad, man.
It's crazy. Great national anthem, crappy game. She was doing that beforehand, though.
Right.
These things happen. But yeah, good for her, man. Obviously, she should be on something soon, or they know she can already sing if you're at a sporting event doing the national anthem. Which kind of brings up another point. The national anthem is one of those weird things for like, yeah, I don't know. Like you watch a big sporting event, it's always somebody super famous doing it, but it's like. There's a lot of sporting events going on.
Everything else is...
How do you find these people?
Karaoke.
You know what I mean? Like, do you put it on like, hey, do you want to sing the national anthem?
I think people actually audition.
Do they audition?
I think you audition or you send, well, I was going to say send a tape, but I'm sure send a whatever, some kind of file.
So do you think every year they're like, oh, God, it's this guy again?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few of those guys like, oh, man.
I've been a fan for 20 years.
You know that exists.
I just want to do this
or it's
one
just
time,
some places,
my dying
I think,
wish.
right? Like you find somebody that can do it, so they're your person. Right? If it's like minor league baseball.
Yeah, maybe.
They do it.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like,
right.
you know what I mean? Or you just have one guy that sings it every time, or maybe leads a band. So, yeah, I don't know how you, because
get a barbershop quartet.
Now that we're talking about it, every pro team, because there's minor league, major league, they can't all be picking somebody.
I know what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things.
Like, there's got to be pressure on some poor guy in the minor league baseball office being like, we don't have a national anthem singer.
Go to the karaoke bar.
You know what, man? Let's just call Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, we need you. Okay.
We know he's money every time. He'll show up. We'll pay him the $50. He'll get out.
Can you wear a clean shirt this time?
Miles, oftentimes you talk about and expand on how much you like Ozzy Osbourne, but more importantly, how much you love his wife, Sharon.
Oh, sure, Sharon.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
That's why I like Ozzy's, because of Sharon, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably throw this one in the category of no S, but, I just listen to the audio, and it's something in the house is a bone of contention.
You and Ozzy still have sex?
This is a bone of contention in our house.
Really?
Oh, because he's got a problem. He just is like a rabbit, and I'm like, birthdays, Christmas at this point in my life, and special occasions. It's Thanksgiving. Why not? But I mean,
your anniversary.
You've got it, right? But I mean, special occasions.
Well, you've been married how long, though?
We're in our 37th year.
Oh, so that's right.
Remember years ago, Sharon, we brought up the topic, and you said, I'd rather have the flu.
Oh, no wonder he fiddles other people. No. He doesn't. He's a good boy. He doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I believe her in all that.
Sure.
I believe that they don't have sex that often. And,
I believe he fiddles with other people.
Sharon, I want some butt tonight.
Now, it's not a special occasion.
It's National Donut Day. He probably came up with that calendar where there's something every day of the year.
I'm retired. We have plenty of money.
Yeah, and he's Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
Like, hey, there's got to be a lot of special occasions in that man's life. Like, I'm with you. I'd just be like, Sharon, today's when my first gold record came out. Let's do it.
It's National Donut Day. It's National Christmas Day. It's National Hug a Koala Bear Day. There's some dumbass thing every day. If I'm him, I have that kind of special occasion.
Yeah, exactly. It's Tuesday.
Seems like a lot of pressure.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Waiting around for, like, your birthday.
You know it's National Donut Day? Let's do it.
Right.
Thank God there's one of those days for every day of the year now.
Hey, it's Oprah's
National
birthday.
Pizza Day. Let's have.
That's what I mean.
Let's see. On the other side of things, this is nothing to do with sex, but with couples, Tom Hanks. Now, everybody knows Tom Hanks. I think if Tom Hanks showed up in your family, you'd be like, dope. Like, Tom Hanks is here. Apparently.
I think that's how he's greeted when he gets home. Dope. Like, even his kids. It wasn't like, hi, Dad. It's like, dope. Tom Hanks is here.
Yeah.
Talking about their own father. Yeah.
Every time he walks into a room, that's how people react.
Dope.
Tom Hanks is here, dude. So him and Rita Wilson, they've been married for 30 years.
Right.
They're often on the list of like Hollywood's best couples, blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently, when she brought Tom Hanks home, the mom wasn't a fan at first. She couldn't believe that I wouldn't marry a Greek man, but they thought he looked enough Greek, they could blend in. He also joined the Greek
Orthodox. We need to get him some jewelry.
The Greek Orthodox Church after they got married. I don't know. That's just a funny thing. And oftentimes...
And, they brag about it now. Our daughter is married to Forrest Gump.
Yeah. And
Forrest Gump. You think that's it? From Greenbow, Alabama.
I mean, as far as Tom Hanks go, I still think Forrest Gump might be the biggest one.
I would think so.
Like the Apollo movies and stuff, but I don't remember his characters.
But it was all about him and Forrest Gump.
I feel like he hears a lot of Forrest Gump and probably gets a lot of jokes about Wilson in volleyball.
But think about this, right? Forrest Gump, it is solely, he carries the entire movie. And you could say the same thing about Castaway because basically it's a solo movie, but people still remember Wilson. I couldn't tell you his name in the movie Castaway. I know Wilson.
And he doesn't talk a bunch, right? Because he's on the island just with
the volleyball's his best friend. So, conversation's limited.
Well, I just think it's always funny. When I was a kid, I went to see the not just like the little home version, but the cinematic release of Benji. This is a movie that follows a dog, Benji.
How many times did they ever say cinematic release? Most people would say, I went to the movie theater and I saw, but not the cinematic release of Benji.
Remember people like, why do you want to see that movie? It's just a dog in the woods. Like, I don't know. Tom Hanks won a lot of awards for being a dude on an island.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Benji was on to something. Benji, obviously, Benji at SeaWorld's the best Benji movie.
How many movies did they make?
Benji at SeaWorld?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's the cinematic release of just Benji itself.
All right.
Right.
And that's him lost in the woods. They're going to find it's a lot of Benji.
That's the whole script.
It's called for the dog.
There was smaller, like, half-hour adventures that they made for TV where he would go places. So
including SeaWorld.
Correct. And there's, like, puppet dogs in it. I mean, I should watch it again. I haven't watched this since a child.
Okay. Well.
When I was a kid, I very much loved it.
As you're saying this out loud, I can see your face like, this sounds like crap. Right. It's just a memory that I should leave alone.
Right. I haven't seen that one flashing up like, good news, Netflix has added Benji for the month of May.
We recommend Benji at SeaWorld.
I still think there's a good chance I'm one of the few people that went and saw Benji.
I think you are. I didn't even know they had movies.
Yeah.
I thought it was a TV show.
It was a whole thing.
Cinematic release, Miles.
Oh, man, I don't know how to get into this one after talking about Benji. But Tiffany Haddish, she's a very funny person. Mm-hmm. She was on with James Corden, I believe, and they started talking a little. She's in a new movie also that's Night School or whatever. So then they were asking her about actual teaching and could she teach sex ed.
If you were a teacher in real life, what subject would you teach?
I would teach sex education.
What would that, lesson one is, what would you do?
Lesson one would be hygiene, because good hygiene equals good sex, right?
Amen.
I would tell the women, the young ladies in my class, like, look, you're going to have to take a bath at least once a week. You got to drown it, okay? You got to drown it. And put like a half a box of baking soda in there, get the pH balance right, okay? You want to keep your pH balance on deck. And fellas, you need to go ahead and put that hot dog in some hot water. Soak that thing in some baking soda as well. You scratching, that's yeast. That is not just jock itch or whatever. You're not trying, you yeasty, sir.
You yeasty, sir. That's probably the best way to teach her. Soak your hot dog, you yeasty son of a bitch.
Right, like you're boiling hot dogs.
Yeah. Well, she brings up a good point. I mean, hygiene is very important.
It helps.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for, right. the age people will be learning sex ed.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Clean it.
Hey, man, that's when you really start taking care of yourself when you first start having sex. You're like, oh, my God.
But you still have to let them know, like, hey, man, you can't just do what you did in the morning and roll into school like you did for the last 2 years. Clean it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say, too, like, you're right, like, meeting the opposite sex or same sex, whatever you're into, probably helps. But also, I think it helps, too, like, you get to a certain age where, like, there's just friends that'll be like, I don't smell like that. Like, you shouldn't smell. Like,
right.
You know, it's pretty obvious who's, like, the smelly person.
Dude, you steal Fritos?
Who's not using deodorant or who's not showering. Which, again, is one of those weird things, right? It's hard to get kids to shower and nap, right?
Yep.
Whereas as an adult, like,
you love.
Oh, God, do I love a shower than a nap, right? And snacks, right? Like, oh, I want to eat snacks. Like, man, I'm living the life here.
Right, exactly.
Going to a place and doing all that. Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy
is still on the air.
Well, Miles, maybe for not much longer.
Is there a hospital here in Seattle that they actually film and call it the hospital for Grey's Anatomy? I'm asking. Like Frasier, we saw just the skyline of Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm here with Ovaries to answer your question.
Oh, thank you, Robin.
So they do come to town periodically throughout the year to film because of different seasons, whatever. So they want to capture stuff. They do a lot of overhead shots of the whole city.
Okay.
But the actual cast will show up and they'll film on the ferry for a couple days and they'll go over to Gasworks Park and this and that. And so what they do is they actually film scenes in a couple places in the city, just in studios. And then the rest is pretty much in L.A. So I don't even know. I know they film some of it.
So there's
in
no
hospitals.
facade of an outside hospital that you see all the time, and that's the hospital.
No.
Okay.
There
Right.
is,
Nowhere you'd recognize.
I don't think it's here. Yeah, I think it's all just. It's either just a backdrop or they film some of it at a hospital in L.A. I think it's easier for them.
Because you know if it would be there, like the ducks would go by, like, and there's where they have Grey's Anatomy.
Right. Totally.
Sorry about the dead body they're dragging in right now, but
I mean, I think the most famous Seattle hospital ever is probably Tom Green.
When he tried to swim across Lake Washington?
No.
Or when he
had
lost
the
the
Bum
test?
Bum song. And his bum was on the Swedish.
Oh, right.
But it was just the sign for Swedish Hospital in Seattle. Like, had nothing to do with the actual
And that was our rise to fame.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he had a real hospital in there.
That's a good point.
Anyhow, the show might not be lasting much longer. It's been on for 15 years, by the way, Miles. 15 seasons.
All right.
That is a long ass time.
It is a long time.
15 seasons.
You'd think by now they would have cured cancer or something.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to end it. You know what I mean? Like, we cured cancer, we're out. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it just ends with everybody going on vacation.
Oh, that's a great way to end it, man. They cured cancer.
As I understand the show, it's just people having a lot of sex. Maybe it's, the STDs, they had to shut down the hospital.
But I don't know enough stereotypes
Quit
of
having
doctors.
sex in the broom closet.
Well, one thing we know about the medical community is there are no barriers. When you're dealing with people's bodies, it's something that you know top to bottom from all the different ways.
I'm a proctologist. Guess what's not going to bother me tonight?
Yeah, exactly. Like that, a car mechanic is not afraid to get his hands dirty and get down in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same profession. Like, I know how the system works. I'm going to get in there and, hug it up.
Ellen Pompeo, she's the reason people think that it might be ending. Her contract's up after the next season. She said, quote, I'm clearly not prepared right now to make any formal announcement on what the future of the show is, but I really feel like basically it's the same thing. She's been working on the show for 15 years. She's like, yeah, I think I'm kind of done. I'm definitely looking for a change. There's no word on whether the show itself will stick around. I think that'll just depend. And ER, Jesus, man. I've never seen this show, obviously. I was just about to call it ER and be like, ER lost a ton of people.
It's the same
like,
show.
Blah, blah,
It's got to
blah.
be the same show, right?
Well, has Grey's Anatomy
it's the same thing.
lost a lot of people and brought others in?
I don't know.
All right, well, then, all right.
Did they make Dreamy or whatever the hell? No, is that the wrong show?
No, McDreamy, you're right.
Show? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
He was the guy who bought the coffee place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Tully's, I think it was.
Yeah, Pete's or something.
So, I mean, like, if you're writing Grey's Anatomy, like, it's a hospital show. I mean, in theory, like, what was the longest running soap opera of all time?
General Hospital?
General Hospital.
All right.
It's a hospital. People come in and out all the time.
Yeah, I guess they never close.
Right. So, like, she's obviously doesn't want to do it anymore, but if the rest of the people want to do it, if they can still make money on it, they'll still do it.
Nobody even wants to go to the hospital. People hate it when they're there. I can't figure out why people are so interested from looking on the outside in of what is a fictitious hospital environment.
Because drama involves bad news for someone.
Well, and part of
what
it-
better put than cops or hospitals? No one's like, ha ha, just came to the hospital, nothing hurt.
But nobody walks in like, I got a bump on my junk.
I got
but
a
also,
bump on my junk.
You're never excited, even as a 37-year-old man. I'm never excited if an ambulance or a fire truck has to show up to my house.
Not your house, no.
Yeah, when I see one, I came like, oh man, it's a fire department. Like,
Exactly.
like
What's
yesterday,
going
I
on
was
over
doing it.
there?
I could see out there. I was like, what the hell
Think
is
about all
going
those
on up there?
NCIS, SWAT, cops. Anything
I'll check the neighborhood. I'll check the neighborhood bulletin board to see if I can find any information.
Right, so you could watch 100 SWAT shows and love every one. The one moment you hear that, Miles Montgomery. You're like, this is not fun.
I hate SWAT.
Why did they make shows and a movie about this?
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. All right, Mike's got your headlines coming up here in just a few minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. So we head to China, where a skyscraper that looks exactly like a penis puts on a fireworks display. Now we head to Australia, where a Dutch tourist sits on a crocodile's back before wishing it a good day. Scottsdale Mom of the Year leaves 4-year-old at home to hit the bars. A woman has 20-pound cyst removed from her belly that will definitely leave some scars. And thieves in Vermont soon to find out all that headache stuff. Yeah, that was him. It is time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
All right, our top story, we go to Vermont, where thieves have been sneaking onto a local farm and stealing tons of hemp that they've been growing. There's been no less than 6 incidents and 12 arrests of people coming onto the farm looking to pilfer some marijuana, but there is an issue. What they're stealing is hemp, which can be made into oil but cannot be smoked. This may shock you, but I had no idea about that.
I'm guessing they didn't either.
Nope. So the farmers are relenting not only that their crop is getting stolen, but very likely for no good reason.
Yeah, they'll find out.
Right.
They'll dry it out. They'll smoke it. Nothing will happen.
And then they'll stop robbing it.
No, they won't.
Let's try it again.
That's right. Maybe we just got a bad batch. In other news, gentlemen, it is that time again. Time for another case of bad parenting.
Uh-oh.
The latest case takes us to Scottsdale, Arizona, where a 29-year-old mother left her 4-year-old daughter at home all by herself. 4-year-old daughter.
All night long. She said she left at 11, got back at 6:30 or 8 o'clock. I can't remember when she got back. But it wasn't like she took off and went out to the bars for a couple hours and made it back home.
Remember, the kid knocked on the neighbor's door at 6:30. The cops finally got to talk to the mom at 8-something.
Yay. She wanted to go out partying and was out partying overnight. Police were alerted to this display of parenting after they were contacted by the woman's neighbors, who called after the 4-year-old came and knocked on their door saying that her mother wasn't home. They
probably just went to somebody's house and talked.
Yeah. They stayed with the child for roughly 45 minutes before calling police. The mother said that she didn't know that her daughter could open a locked door. She's facing a felony charge of child endangerment, and child services have been contacted.
Okay.
We know somebody whose 1-year-old can open a locked door. How do you not know that your 4-year-old can do it? They're almost old enough to go to school.
She just wanted to go out. You know what your kid can do.
You said, I hope he doesn't, but you knew damn well he could.
What do you know? You leave your 4-year-old home alone long enough, they get a little spooked and they want to go and, be comfortable with somebody.
And unlock doors.
I mean, like, that whole thing's bad, but, like, you left at 11 and didn't show up till, like, 8 in the morning? Like, damn.
Right?
They said she was partying, Ted.
You're right.
Damn. We go to China, where the architecture is getting a little creative. A new media center has recently erected in the southeastern region of the country that is getting some stiff comments on social media. Yes. Some on social media have made the comparison of the building to a giant penis and testicles.
It's because it looks like a giant penis with testicles.
Obviously not fighting the comparison at all. They recently launched fireworks from the tip of the building to kick off.
The top of the building.
Oh, did I not? Sorry, a little typo there. They're so close.
God.
Did it just open?
I think so.
Let me see this.
Recently,
you haven't seen this? You haven't seen this?
Oh, man.
Oh, look at this.
It shines bright, man. They lit the thing up great.
I mean, it's got the whole thing.
Look at that. They're not even trying.
I know, it's not. It's just a giant penis. Would you buy a condo there? I would.
They don't call them condos, they call them condoms.
They're affordable, you know what I mean? I live in that big penis.
That's building. Every little boy's dream. I'm tired of drawing a penis with a Sharpie. Right. I'm making a building.
I'm going to build it. Another reason why you never assume a woman is pregnant. 5 years ago, a woman in Tennessee had a lump in her torso that was diagnosed as a benign ovarian cyst.
Ooh.
As some cysts do, it grew in size over the years to the point that the woman was in incredible pain because of it. It grew so big that it weighed roughly 20 pounds.
Okay.
She's recently gone through surgery to have the cyst removed and wants others to learn from her mistake and take steps so that they don't have to go through the pain and discomfort that she suffered from.
I put the cyst in sister.
Yes.
What exactly is inside of it? So
I was going to ask, is it blood?
I mean, is it hair? Is it blood? Is it pus? Is it,
did you slice it into lunch meat?
I think it's kind of like a mixture of all of it. I think it's mainly pus and fat.
Okay.
That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. For listening to today's program. You can catch up on any of the episodes if you download the Men's Room app. We'll see you next time for Who Sucks Less, the return of the word, and we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. It is all true, but in the meantime, we be all about this badge. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake,
Stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man.
A Double Flush production.
How do you order food for the office these days? How do you make sure it's on time and as ordered? How can you get it individually packaged? How? EasyCater. When you order on EasyCater.com, the food comes as ordered and on time 98% of the time. And when there's a problem, which is practically never,
Thank you for calling EasyCater.
you can reach someone in about 9 seconds. How do you order 24/7 from more than 80,000 restaurants? How? EasyCater. Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.